So here's the thing, the more AI evolves, and it's evolving fast, keep an eye on it, the more you realize that your operations, the things that you used to do a few months ago, you can pretty much replace now with a couple of software, right? And we are continuously amazed on how much easier our operations are becoming as we're implementing more and more AI. Now, the thing with that is that it also lowers the barrier of entry and increases the competition. The easier it becomes to fulfill a task, the more competition you're going to have on that level of that task, right? And so that's why we're basically noticing that agencies who are offering pure lead generation services are pretty much screwed. And simply because, one, it's easy to generate leads and a lot of clients take it in-house. Two, there's more competition. There's many agencies that are offering that same service. And three, it's basically harder to retain clients, right? You sign them for more. It costs you more to acquire them, and you retain them for shorter periods of time. Why? Because you're basically a commodity. Lead generation agencies are extreme commodities in the eyes of the consumer, of the final business who's going to need their services. And to be fair, even appointment agencies are not completely safe from that, right? The way to know that is it's not just all folk tales. You can literally look at your metrics. You look at your cost per lead, the cost it takes you to get one interested business in your services, and the cost to acquire that business. It's shooting up. It is shooting up because the offer is no longer differentiated. You're being compared on price. And we're noticing that because of that, even with booked appointments, it's getting increasingly harder to charge more and more for our services, right? And so really, what is the solution there? It's, again, to decommoditize your service, to offer something that's more end-to-end. And in the case of a lead gen agency, the next natural evolution is to actually book the appointment in. Of course, there's a caveat to that. It depends by niche. If you have a niche that's not sophisticated, meaning it hasn't really been serviced by too many marketing agencies yet, then chances are they're not even getting leads in the first place. And if they're not, well, you bringing them leads is going to be a good starting point. They're actually going to hook. They'll want that. And the sanity check here is, are your clients making money? Are they able to book those appointments, and are they able to generate revenue of them? Are they profitable? And as a consequence, are you able to retain them for long? If you are, then you're still winning. If not, you are in a very sophisticated niche, and you will absolutely have to get booked appointments in there as a service. When you do that, you basically solve for a more end-to-end solution. So run the ads, create the creative, right? Generate the leads, book the appointments, and ultimately you are more differentiated. It allows you to be more sticky. The more ingrained, the more vertically integrated you are in your client services, the more they're going to depend on you, the more they're going to need you. Clients pay and like the premium of having more services handled by one agency, especially if it's a trustworthy agency, because it reduces lines of communication, it increases the quality of the service and the responsibility across the entire end-to-end. Now, speaking of responsibility, because you are responsible directly for closely to their bottom line revenue, meaning you're not just generating leads and you're going to charge $20 per lead. You're not getting booked appointments, which you're going to charge per booked appointment. You are actually a direct lever to their final bottom line revenue. The leads that you generate, the appointments that you generate, the clients that you drive in, they are actually getting your revenue uplift, and you can charge based on that. We have colleagues who run marketing agencies who charge per back-end sales, percentage of the back-end sales, and so that is the most direct way to be directly responsible for the bottom line revenue, right? And the more you delay the ask, as you know, the more you can charge, because you're taking on more risk, you're sharing that risk with the client, and so that's what makes you more sticky. That's what makes your retention better, your churn lower, your lifetime value increases, how much you charge a client. Your cost of acquisition of a client also drops. It's cheaper to get that client in, and that allows you to charge more. And that does bring the cost of acquisition a bit higher again, but it balances out and it's still beneficial for you. I know it may be hard to follow these numbers, but just trust me when I tell you that the difference between offering booked appointments and just leads is night and day, and you should absolutely do it. And so the question is, why not do it in the first place? Because that's the other way of looking at it. If it's all good when it comes to booked appointments, why not do it? Why not more people are doing? Why they're not busy building call centers, right? And the reason number one is fear of the unknown, fear of extra work, fear of complexity in the operations. It's the operational drag. People want to stay lean. They don't want to take on the operational drag. But when you take a close look at it, you actually realize it's really not that deep. It's not that hard. You fundamentally have to do 2-3 things. You have to hire, train, manage, and fire. That's basically it. That's what a call center really entails. And the operational drag of this is a necessity. Is a necessity that allows you to scale. Just look around. The model is proven. There are appointment agencies that are scaled to 300k per month, 500k per month. There are some that are shooting to 1 mil a month. So the model is 100% proven. What are the margins on it, you may ask? They should be anywhere between 50-60% when you're below 100k per month, and probably around 40-30% past that point. We're not at that point yet. I don't have authority to speak about that, not directly. I know one of the top med spa agencies who is at 400k per month right now. I think they're pulling in about 20% margins. And so, hey, a smaller margin of a bigger pie, very big operations, but of course a lot of it, if not all of it, is completely delegated to heads of operations. We'll make a video entirely about the entire organogram, the structure of booked appointments agency in a while. Stick around. But for the time being, just to keep it top level and relevant to the topic at hand, you fundamentally need to have a script, a proven script. You have to have a process, and you have to have appointment setters, your work staff, right? For now, at least. The AI capabilities that can and will replace human setters are very close. They are incredibly powerful. We are studying them as we speak. We are keeping a finger on that pulse. And when that happens, well, you guessed it, it's going to be very easy to not worry about hiring. Just have your AI, train it, and obviously that's going to become easy. That's going to become quite rapidly decommoditized. At that point, essentially, we're going to become the implementers of all these technologies in the client's businesses. And that's still going to be better off than just getting them leads, because the more technologies you need to know how to integrate, the more technologies you need to know how to make work seamlessly together, the more you're going to be able to actually, come in as an expert and do things that otherwise the client would struggle to do rapidly, because there is going to be quite a bit of a learning curve in there, right? Okay. And so let's discuss all of those 3 things one at a time. The script is the thing that has to be sales driven, because you will need to collect a deposit. If you cannot get a deposit, then you're doing it wrong. And so knowing that the ultimate goal of the appointment setting is not to set an appointment, but to also collect a deposit, to have skin in the game, because otherwise people won't show up, that's what you need to achieve. You have to work backwards from there. How you do it, again, no need to overcomplicate it. We're selling to, if we're selling an actual introductory service, then it's pretty low ticket. If we're selling things like sits or quotes or measurement appraisal jobs, like in the home improvement space, solar space, then there the dynamics are slightly different. We're not in that space directly, but there are ways to tie people down and to make sure that they show up. And of course, when it's about the client going to their location, to the house, they're less likely to no show than if they have to come in the clinic. So again, this depends on a niche by niche basis, but to get a firm commitment, to get people to actually show up, no matter the niche, it's still going to need to be a sales-based setting script. And so that is fundamentally about creating a gap, discovering, closing, being, I don't want to say aggressive, but being firm with getting indicators of commitment from your clients. And you're solving for show-up rates. You're solving for booked appointments that are not just a, weak signal that doesn't actually get followed through. So that's sales script, right? Next step is the process. Your setting process has to solve for 2 things. One is speed to lead, and the other one is the follow-up volume. It's essentially the thing that's ensuring connect rates, how many leads versus how many you're actually speaking to. And that is directly going to impact the number of booked appointments, the number of firm commitments you're going to get from your leads. Leads without appointments mean nothing. And that is by far the biggest objection with lead gen agencies. When clients come back and push back against it, say that the leads are weak. So you need to preempt that. You need to avoid it. And so that is your process. whether you're going to use Go High Level or other CRM, dialers, all kinds of other software in it. Software is super important. The backend sequences are super important too. Your text sequences, your email sequences. All they have to do is make sure that the leads are real, that they're qualified. They have to qualify them and make sure that they pick up the phone so they actually speak to a human being or to an AI very soon. And that is basically the process in a nutshell. Another video for another time. And then finally, the last thing is the setters. You can hire setters from platforms such as Remote Co, which is South America, or onlinejobs.ph, which is the Philippines. It's a good starting point. Or you can do it with ads. And always keep an eye on geo arbitrage opportunities, meaning where people work for less. So you have South America, amazing. You have South Africa, you have the Philippines, you have Egypt. Work with your appointment setters closely. Once you hire them, train them. It's going to take anywhere between 4 and 5 hours to train them. And because of that, in order for you to train them properly, you need to have done some appointment setting yourself. I've said this before and I will sustain this. I think if you delegate something that you didn't fully understand and mastered yet to at least 80% degree, you won't know what bad looks like, and even more importantly, you won't necessarily know what good looks like. You will get appointment setters at some point who will come in and they'll teach you things, and that's amazing because those are the people who are going to manage your team of appointment setters. But until you do that, just learn the thing. Do a bunch of appointment setting sessions. When we started our call center, we did the appointment setting for our clients for a couple of months easily, all of the appointments. Hundreds of booked appointments before we even tried to hire one, right? Can you do it quicker? Probably. Should you do it much quicker? I'd say not. It's up to you at the end of the day. Okay. And the way to ensure the quality of your setters is you have to have scorecards. It's going to require a bit of culture building. Build a culture of excellence, a culture of performance. It's a performance-based role. There should be base, there should be commission, and there should be scorecards. Scorecards that count how many dials these people are doing, how many minutes they're spending on conversations, the lead to book ratio, the book to show up ratio, and each of those things should have incentives at each level. Scorecards, again, another conversation for another time. But remember, you need to do it yourself first. Highly recommended. Hire one appointment setter, hire two appointment setters, and then you can actually promote one of them to hire the rest of them. You can absolutely find one good setter. In fact, of our first two appointment setters, we already have had one who definitely showed promising signs of being able to move to the next level, which is hiring. Chances are when you hire some of these setters, they already come in with experience of managing teams of setters. We have had plenty of hires where they said, yeah, I managed a team of 10 setters before. And those are your usual suspects. Those are your best candidates to be promoted because it's a time-consuming role to train, to interview, to triage, and to actually manage setters once they come in. It's pretty time consuming. So I'd say you want to delegate that to someone. Again, this doesn't need to freak you out. If something freaks you out, that means you're hitting your pain line, right? And the pain line is basically where you realize that the bigger you scale your business, the more pain you're going to take on. And that pain scares you. It makes you sabotage your business. It makes you stall your growth. And when you feel that, that's a good sign. It's an indication that you need to grow. You need to hire in order to free your time and in order to focus your time on high revenue generating activities, which you also love, because you don't want to build yourself yet another job. You don't want golden handcuffs. And so unless you absolutely have a massive love for hiring and training setters, I would say that is something that you would want to elevate and delegate. Okay. And so at the end of this whole thing, now you control the conversation around lead quality. You're calling them, you're determining if they're any good. You can get that feedback directly from your setters. And I don't know about you, but I would much rather train my own setters in-house and invest in my own resources than do all that training for a client, for a local business, local brick and mortar business, to do what exactly with it, to take it and run away with it. And even if they did, because that would be a good problem to have, the resistance of some of these businesses is just so high that you're better off sometimes just getting it done for them. The time it takes to train someone who is paying you is disproportionately higher than the time it takes to hire a resource in-house who you're paying. You're paying these guys to perform. You can fire them at any point. A client will come in with, a lot of them come in with an ego, with erroneous thinking that they're already doing everything right. Oh, I'm calling all my leads within 5 minutes. No, they're not. you need to be calling them within 5 seconds. Oh, I'm following up with them plenty. No, you're not. Oh, I know how to set appointments, but they don't show. And then even more so, when they come in, they don't know how to upsell them. And that is actually the next point. Where to next? The question would go. I think the next step would be to take over the selling process as well, as much as possible. And this is a belief that initially we thought is really not that easy, not that possible. You can't really replace selling in person with selling over the phone, and that may be true to some extent. But we have started implementing post consultation calls, which essentially are us and our team of appointment setters calling these leads after they come in for the appointment and trying to sell them then. Again, sell them, upsell them into high ticket packages. That would be similar for home improvement, for any other niche. Essentially means owning that conversation after they've made contact with the brick and mortar local business. And it may be hard, it may be not as optimal as them being sold to in person, but we are working right now with a couple of clients who have extremely good salespeople in their team who are actually able to sell their appointments over the phone, which is definitely opening our eyes and expanding our horizons in terms of what's possible there. And so imagine that you're not just getting leads, you're not just getting booked appointments, but you're actually generating the sale. The possibilities there are endless. You could charge based on the revenue that you're generating as a percentage, shift all the risk on you once you're confident that you can get the job done, and that is the ultimate point of differentiation. So I hope this gives you insights. I hope this gives you perspective. Let me know if this makes sense, and get started with building a call center. We're rooting for your success. We'll be seeing you around. Follow along for specific knowledge at each step of that way, and to your success. Bye.